Well, howdy. Hi there. How you doing? What's happening, San Diego? I mean, wow. I mean, it's another Sunday. It's another podcast. Why am I stoked and excited? Because I'm here at the studio with Ariel Levine. He is here with brand new songs that I am in love with. His record is magnificent. I want to play the third track on the second side of his vinyl record. It's called Sunshine Part 2, on my color TV, and it's just won the San Diego Music Awards Song of the Year. Song of the Year!
Thank you.
Here it is.
My violence on the TV, all the high crimes I am yet to see, all the heartache, watch them bones break, let glow the screen and glue it to my eyes, all this content, I'm so content, not the end, not trends, not suicide. See, don't give me no signs, just want my sex and violence on my color TV. Unbreak the silence, I'll do sex and violence on my color TV. Color TV, keep your pins and needles. I'll get my sequel on my color TV. Color TV, sensation, cross the nation, tubes and wires and big flat screen designs. Oh, I'm just so high. Don't face the science, I'll book my sex and violence on my color TV. I can turn invisible, I can reach your mind, I'll control your sick little dreams, everything will be just fine. I can live forever, I can turn back time, creeping through your airwaves, everything will be just fine, just fine. Unbreak the silence, I'll take my sex and violence on my color TV. Color TV, keep your pins and needles. I'll get my sequel on my color TV. Color TV, unbreakable silence. Give me that sex and violence on my color TV.
Wow. I love this song. I love it.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't even own a TV, but I can totally relate to what you're saying in the song. People want to see some weird shit on their color TV, man.
It's almost about how TVs are going away and how they're kind of a thing of the past in a weird way, you know, because your TV, it used to be, you know, it used to be sort of a stigma, like the, you know, TV rots your brain, you know, you get all this sensationalism and stuff on your TV, but now we're getting it in so many different ways and so many different mediums that I'm almost not bogged down by the sensationalism, but by the mediums on which sensationalism is available to me, that I just want to keep it simple. Just give me my good old-fashioned color TV back. That's all I want. I want my sex and violence on a color TV with glowing tubes, you know, that hiss that old TVs had, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I just want to watch Cops.
Pre-remote control.
Yeah.
Get up to change the channel.
Like with the stick, the stick you use to turn the TV on and off. I learned that from my grandmother.
Hey, Ariel, let me show you my stick trick. You're going to love it, kid. Well, this album is great. It's called Let the Machine Get It. I swear to God, Ariel, you're the new David Bowie. Your production is so rich and your songs are so infectious, and you bring something that sounds so classic.
Thank you.
To my ears today. First time listening to these songs, and I feel like they were produced in the mid-70s. Like they sound like something I've heard in my past, and that I love this record, and it's my favorite record.
Oh, thank you.
That's beautiful.
That's high praise. I appreciate that.
I'm not jerking you off here. This is the full Monty.
Okay, well, we are in a private sound booth. I mean...
But seriously, I know you're very talented because I've seen your talent. You're a great band leader and you're a great presence on stage. You're really perky and fun and you're smiling a lot and you're not like one of these super serious musicians that takes everything very growl face on stage. You're all like smiling and laughing and jumping and hopping and playing with the other players, like getting in their business and they're in your business, and you're like obviously enjoying making music.
Most of the time.
Tell me about the beginnings. Were you like 3 and said, Mommy, I want a guitar?
Actually, yes.
See?
More or less that. I can't recall exactly what the switchover was, but I sort of put all the different pieces of these musical rock stardom dreams and aspirations over the course of my childhood and sort of had them all culminate when I was kind of old enough and smart enough. Well, I mean, I take back smart enough, but old enough to understand how to put it all together. I mean, I have very specific memories over the course of my life that I think led to where I am now, being actually about 2.5 years old and my father holding me in his arms and dancing with me to Talking Heads Stop Making Sense, Huey Lewis and the News Sports, which is still one of my favorite albums, because these were like my parents' music.
Right.
And I was young enough, I remember that stuff. And I remember, people may or may not believe this because I was younger than 3, but I remember the smell of the piano black record cabinet that the records were in and the record player was in. And I have a very specific memory of the glow of that red light on the turntable. And flash forward to being, 9 and, you're in 5th grade and everybody gets an instrument. And I pick up saxophone and I play that for a few years. I still play. Fast forward to 11 or 12 and Nirvana is everything at a kid that age. I'm 35 now. So when I was 11, Nirvana was everything. And me and my friends just wanted to play Nirvana songs. And, I picked up the guitar and one thing led to another. And here I am. That's the short version of that.
So I'm glad that you had parental support along that journey.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, when they're 2.5 and they tell their parents that they want to be a rock star, they laugh at them and they don't encourage them.
Yeah.
And you got to play saxophone in 5th grade and you got permission to buy a guitar or someone bought a guitar for you or something. And that kind of support is just so critical. Parents out there, buy your kid whatever they want. No, don't do that. But I really love that obviously happened. So where were you brought up? What part of the world?
New York area. I was born in Tel Aviv in Israel, and then I moved with my parents to Long Island for a little bit, and then we lived in Connecticut outside of New York for about 10 years until my mother got tremendously bored of the suburbs, and we moved back to the city.
All right. Well, there's a wellspring of inspiration for a teenage boy.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, and I had both worlds. I had it wasn't even the suburbs, it was the sticks. So growing up with so much boredom and nothing to do, where all I could really do is sit in my room and fiddle with this guitar, so to speak, and then getting out to being old enough to where I'm independent and can, negotiate my way around the city and going to see music and being a 16-year-old kid, bringing my baritone sax to this old guy jazz jam and having them let me sit in and stuff. And,
Ooh.
Yeah, I used to be like a real jazz player, but I didn't keep it up, so I wouldn't know the first thing about it these days.
Well, it's obvious that you've got a lot of things to draw on to bring that musical flavor that you bring. I mean, it's a complex brew.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So who did you admire on saxophone?
Yeah, I mean, sax was still kind of my main instrument. I mean, I also played guitar, but I had more, being in high school and stuff and being in all the programs, I had more opportunity to play sax. And I started when I was, I guess, in 5th grade is when they give you the instrument. My teacher suggested that I switch to baritone when I was in, I think, 7th grade. And since then, I was looking at all the baritone sax players. I mean, you got Jerry Mulligan. I really, really liked Pepper Adams. Blues and Roots, Charles Mingus Blues and Roots. Yeah, and being a young kid, this is going to be so obscure for all you jazz listeners out there. I mean, I'm young, so I discovered Mingus Big Band first, which was a big band that played Charles Mingus music as a 1940 style big band, and the baritone sax player in that band was Ronnie Cuber. And then I slowly started to discover Mingus's original albums and discovered Pepper Adams and the septet, I think, that was on that record, and I really liked Stan Getz. I liked how he was sort of a slow bender, and it's funny because Stan Getz plays sax like David Gilmour plays guitar, and Gilmour is probably my biggest guitar influence,
Oh, wow.
Gilmour was the excuse. Gilmour was my excuse to not have to practice scales. Even now, I play guitar every day, but I don't practice dexterity, and I'm not like the fastest player, so I was like, oh, well, Gilmour just plays one note. He can hold it out forever, so I'll just do that.
Well, it's working for you, brother.
Thanks.
Let me tell you. I like how you, being from New York, dedicated this record to the people of San Diego and New York City.
Yeah.
And I love how you're making out with the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's your art direction, so tell me, where did you get inspired for that?
I had this album cover concept in my head since I was about 18 years old, and I wanted to make this record. Not these songs, but that album cover. I said, I'm going to make a record with my own name on it, and this is going to be the cover. And the back cover is us sort of post-coitus indifferent from each other. And the original idea was that it was supposed to be in like a sleazy old Times Square motel with neon lights glowing through the window and stuff like that. But that ended up being done in my bedroom. But yeah, I've always had that concept. Before I came to San Diego, I wrote a lot about New York. I wrote a lot about living in the city and the characters you meet along the way, and sort of being a human being and struggling to sort of negotiate your way around the world is a lot different in New York. Or at least it used to be. And, Lou Reed's a big influence of mine, and I really wanted to sort of pick up where he left off in some cases. When I came out here, I kind of felt like, well, that's not really my place so much anymore, but I still loved the Statue of Liberty concept, so I used it.
It's really attractive.
Yeah.
I like the whole packaging of this record.
Yeah, now it just represents the whole country rather than just New York.
And you let the machine get it.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop making out with Lady Liberty to catch a phone call. Heck no.
No, you get it.
So you play all over with your band. You play the Office Bar, the Blonde Bar, the Casbah.
Yeah.
Where else have you played?
I mean, those main 3 spots. We just played Pink a few weeks ago.
Bar Pink.
Bar Pink.
On 30th in North Park.
This is a fun city to play shows in.
I love it. So we're going to hear another track. This is the first track on side 2. It's called Wake Up, Look Down.
You're so attractive, you're so you're acting. I'm not no fool, I'm a digital slave. And is it just a game you intended to play? Wake up and look down at the sea. Now pull out your 5-inch sapphire screen. Cybernetic harmony. Okay, just let me brush my teeth. Now come on.
right. Wake up. Look down. It's a brand new day.
Yeah. That's kind of the idea behind that song, I guess, yeah. It's the first song on side 2, or act 2, so to speak, and it does have that feel of the sun shining after, a tumultuous time, and then getting to your destination and looking out and seeing the Pacific Ocean for the first time in your life. And then instead you're going to take a picture of it with your smartphone or tell people on a device what you're
Check
seeing.
in at Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, it's kind of the song is sort of those two dichotomies kind of clashing with each other, to where you want something to be an emotional experience and to make an imprint on you. But we're all conditioned to want to share it and to want to show other people and look down into a device rather than looking up into the world. Yeah. So that's kind of what that song's about.
Your words are beautiful.
Thank you.
You're an excellent writer. And I'm glad that you paid attention in English class, because you use a lot of very wonderful phrasing, and it's very poetic, and there's an obvious intelligence inside of you.
Thank you.
That comes out and is provocative.
I never paid attention in English class.
Really?
Yeah, I just listened to a lot of Elvis Costello. So.
And Talking Heads.
And Talking Heads. But his lyrics are very straightforward and basic.
Yeah, but, okay, for artists only, you know that song? Mm-hmm. You can't see it till it's finished, but that just struck me in my little teenage heart. Yeah. When I heard that song for the first time, like, that's my band. That's my song. I love this, because you're writing and you're creating, and you just don't want to share it until it's ready, and you do kind of get like a little kid. You can't see it till it's finished. Right. That's like putting together this record. You said that you kind of wrote the songs in order. Yeah. And that's so cool, because it was a struggle for me to figure out what order to put my songs in, and you're like, well, I kind of wrote them in order. I'm like, what?
I'm never doing this again, by the way. Like, I'm never... Like,
this is not a map for the rest of your writing.
No, the next album's just going to be 3-minute rock songs. I don't care what order they're in, It was a real pain, because I decided ahead of time, no matter how hard, I wanted just to see if I can pull that off.
Well, that's an exercise. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's not quite Dark Side of the Moon. I did definitely write a lot of... recurring lyrical themes, recurring musical motifs and elements that sort of repeat throughout the album, and it's meant to be listened to from start to finish, but also I wanted each song to stand out on their own, knowing that I can't force, nor do I want to force people to have to listen to it start to finish. If you want to do that, great, that's how it's meant to be done. If not, if you want to listen to one song, 2 songs, make your own order, put it in a shuffle playlist, that's fine too. You do that.
Yeah, but what I like about vinyl is it does kind of relegate you to at least a whole side at a time, unless you buy 2 copies of the record and you mix it your own way. Right. I mean, you do get to hear what the artist wants you to hear in the order that it is. Yeah. And I always try to listen to a new record like that, start to finish, side 1, then side 2, and then 3 or 4 if it's a double or whatever, just to hear what that person was thinking. And of course, everyone picks out their own favorites, and they get more rotation than other songs or your favorite side or whatever. But I love that you gave yourself a real nice exercise there and kept to it, even though it might have been frustrating to you at some point.
Yeah, I mean, part of it was really fun, and I also wanted a variety of sounds and tempos and feels. So, it wasn't exactly like, okay, I wrote the first song, now it's time to write the second song. I put songs together and started to put the pieces of the puzzle, and then I went, okay, what's missing? I'm missing, like, the middle. I'm missing a ballad. I'm missing a ballad in the key of A. So let me go, I had these old chords that were going to be, this was going to be a fast song. Well, let me turn this into a ballad and see what happens, and you want to get real musically dorky real quick?
Bring it on, nerd.
The first song in the record is in the key of F.
All right.
The second song is key of F sharp. Third song is the key of G. Fourth song is G sharp, so on and so forth. I give up like at the last song, but it goes all the way up until D.
Wow.
And then the last 2 songs I think are in B or something, but...
Well, that's a testament to your vocal ability, too, because you can sing in all those keys.
sort of. Studio trickery. But yeah.
Well, it's great. Your voice is really rich, and I enjoy it. I want to listen to it again and again. And you had a couple other voices on there with you. Mm-hmm. Rhea Maciaris.
Yes.
Heather Nation.
Uh-huh.
And Whitney Shea.
Yeah.
It sounds great. Like the way you blended it, when you have the additional vocal on there, it's like a really tight, cool blend. It's very orchestral sounding.
Thank you. They those three worked really well together. And I just sort of hoped for the best and got the best. You know, I didn't audition. I mean, I knew all of them individually, but I never had a chance to like have the three of them sing together and go, this isn't. It just, I'm glad it worked, and each of them brought something different to what that vocal group ended up being on the record, and I'm really thrilled with that. I mean, you know, of course I had a sort of an idea in my head before recording it. I mean, I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan, so I love the contrast, especially on their heavier songs, to have this like big, boisterous, soulful, all-female backup section. And I wanted that, but what I got was totally different and much better. Because, you know, Whitney's voice, the timbre of it is its own thing. It's smoky, but her voice is very honest, too. She's a very honest singer. And Rhea is very sweet and, you know, classically timbral. And Heather is just like ethereal. So the three of that together made for some great harmonies, and they harmonized well together, and they came up with new ideas in the studio together. It was really great to have the three of them. That was a fun day. Yeah.
Collaboration. Now, when you want to relax, you end up doing cover band stuff.
Yeah.
At the office for their Cover Me Mondays. I love that. That's the first time I ever saw you perform. I've been to several of them, and I'm like, who is this guy? And the very first night I saw you, I went to my Facebook and I looked up your name. I'm like, I gotta know who this guy is, because I was so impressed.
Thank you.
You're so talented. I mean, there's not a lot of rehearsal that goes on with these Undercover Mondays. And thank you very much, Julie Massa from the office that puts this together. I mean, what a treat for San Diego to have all these world-class musicians collaborating on these wonderful cover nights that are half silly, half serious, and 100% respectful of the artists, and so many good ones. I went to the Talking Heads one. That blew me away.
That was fun.
The Prince, and gosh, I can't remember the other ones that I've been to right now. But
well, we did Blondie together.
And we did Blondie together,
Yes.
which was the first all-female fronted Undercover Monday.
Yeah.
And that was so fun. I was so honored to be asked. Thank you. I know that T-Bone is the one that originally asked me if I would do that. And I love that kid. And
He's great.
He's an amazing performer and drummer. Just watching him, you're just like highly entertained, let alone his killer timing and his special pizzazz.
Yeah, T-Bone's got something special, man. He makes people
really
dance.
Does.
Yeah.
You want to dance just watching him.
Yeah. I play in another, like a bar cover band with him, and I sing maybe 75% of the songs, and I'm sweating up there. I'm trying to give him my all, and people just don't want to get up. And then T-Bone sings a song that's like Hurts So Good or something, and the whole crowd just goes wild. Like, people love T-Bone. I'm like, can you just be the lead singer of this band? I can just play guitar? You know.
Yeah, he sucks you in, for sure. His energy and his passion and his knowledge of music is huge.
Yeah. He puts me to shame.
Huge.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We're so lucky to have so many great clubs in town and so many great bands. I'm always thrilled with the warmth of San Diego musicians. Mm-hmm. You know, nobody takes themselves too effing seriously that they can't do anything together. You know, like people are very yes and instead of no.
Right.
I'm not into that. You know,
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to get people to collaborate in San Diego, and it's a thrill to show up as a musician at other musicians' gigs, and then when I'm performing in the Tighten-Ups to look out and see other musicians that have come to see me. You know, I'm like, wow, you know, they've got a night off and they're coming to see a band at a bar?
Yeah.
Wow! That's awesome!
Yeah. I do that as often as I can, but you know how it is.
I do know how it is.
I actually think that San Diego has one of the best music communities, certainly better than what I was having to deal with in New York. The music community, unfortunately, is better than the music scene here.
Yeah.
Because there's no specific scene. It's a broad, general scene, so I think it's harder for fans and for just club goers and things to find out what to go see, and for people who aren't musicians to find out who their favorite band is. Well, I hope we get there.
That's one of the reasons that this podcast was started, because Hapnyn.com, the main goal of Chris Anthus, the CEO and founder of the thing, he wants people in San Diego to know all this variety that is out there. I mean, we're an immigrant town, you know, people come from all over the nation, from all over the world. It's not just one style of music, you know, it's not like Nirvana in the 90s where every band that came out of the Pacific Northwest was kind of a grunge rock and roll band. San Diego has got the Latin scene and the hip hop scene and the rock and roll scene and the spacey new agey music and the reggae music and just so many different styles, rockabilly. And so it is one of our goals to put a focus on all these different styles of music, to let people get a sampling of the music on the podcast so that you can go, oh my God, I have to see Ariel live. This music is incredible. I'm touched. I'm going to buy it. Speaking of buying, where can they buy this vinyl record? Are you in any record stores?
It is available if you want to buy it in person at a couple of shops in town. There's M Theory in Mission Hills.
I love that store.
And Vinyl Junkies Record Shack in South Park. And hopefully during the next pressing, we'll get it out to more stores, but you can order it online. You can go to...
Where is your website?
Well, you can go to ariellevine.com. You can go to Bleeding Gold Records website. That's my label. And you can either order the vinyl or it'll take you to Bandcamp and you can download the album if you wish. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's on all that
Perfect.
stuff. Yeah.
And again, to reiterate his website, it's www.ariellevine.com. I always like to spell it out because our listeners can replay that part and write it down.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear another song. I want to get into some more music. I'm loving this record. This is a song called At the Bottom of the Sunset Strip.
I put my hand up to the whiskey girls. I put my head into the whiskey. I'll meet you on the other side. Yes, I'll meet you on the other side. I put my hand up to the hill so high. I put my head into the hills. I'll meet you in another life. Yes, I'll meet you in another time. And all the moves I'm yet to make, the broken rules and all the mistakes, the junkies and the beauty queens, thunder silence and the music screams. Now all the stars in front of us, the striped streets ahead. Meet you at the bottom of the Sunset Strip. I'll meet you at the bottom. Yes, I'll meet you at the bottom of the Sunset Strip. I push my face against the window pane. I press my nose against the glass. I can't see nothing on the other side. I can't see nothing on the other side. I dip my head into the clouds so white. I put my hand over the key. Now I know I met you in another life. Yes, I met you in another time. The boulevards are yet to take. The broken hearts are yet to fake. And all the films I should have seen, the movie star I should have been. But all the lights are turning red. Flashballs dead ahead. Meet you at the bottom of the Sunset Strip. I'll meet you at the bottom. Yes, I'll meet you at the bottom of the Sunset Strip. Meet you at the bottom. I'll be at the bottom.
Okay, so have you been in LA?
Yeah.
How do you find Los Angeles?
It's a lovely place. I actually, when I first came to California, I wanted to move to LA. That was my goal. So the Sunset Strip, as an entity, not necessarily as a street, represents sort of the finish line on the story of this record.
Okay.
I ended up in San Diego for one reason or another, and I liked it here a lot better, and I still make my way up to LA. It's a cool place to live 2 hours from, and to go, hang out for a weekend, do some of the touristy stuff. I got friends there, do some work, do some sessions, play some gigs.
Do you do a lot of session work?
When I can, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm available.
Yeah. When I first moved to Southern California when I was 18, I was heading to San Diego, but my car broke down right near Orange County, and I knew I had a cousin in Anaheim, so I ended up there. But we'd go to LA for shows and things, and I just felt like such an outcast there. At the time when I was 18, I'm a chunky chick with thick glasses, and I felt like I was the world's most talented woman. But I looked at all the women in LA, and I went, oh, dear. The bar is so much higher in LA.
Yeah.
And today, it's even more ridiculous.
Really?
To me, It seems like there is an LA type, and if you can't possess youth, beauty, production,
right,
then talent doesn't mean anything in that world in a lot of ways. And you've got it all. You've got youth, beauty, and talent, and production. So...
well,
I'm sure,
what am I doing here then?
Exactly. But like you said, it was a better fit for you in San Diego.
Yeah, the thing that troubled me the most was it was difficult to tell the difference between a social occasion and is this a networking thing? Like, are we going to this Thanksgiving party because these are your friends or because there could be some people to meet there?
Ooh.
Which I was just using that as a weird example, but
yeah, but that is so weird. I love it.
So that rubbed me the wrong way. But LA is also, it's so vast that there's inevitably amazing cultural things there. There's amazing art. There's amazing food. There's great music. But I found, too, that coming from New York and wanting to leave a music scene that was so oversaturated that I couldn't find my place, that was the problem with New York. I found the same thing in LA. It's like, it's so big that there might be better opportunities there as an artist, as a working musician, as a producer and a composer and all that stuff. And if I busted my ass, I'd probably make something happen there. But as an artist who wanting to get a following and a fan base, I felt it a lot more difficult in LA than it is down here.
Well, I'm a fan for life.
Cool.
This record is going back on when you leave the studio, and I'm going to play it loud and proud. I'm so happy for you. You've worked with great musicians in San Diego. I'm going to mention some of the artists that are on this record. Zach Abramson is your electronic percussion player. Eric Brosgold and Philip Cullen are playing drums on it, real drums, not real electronic.
Drums. And Eric plays in my live band, too.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
And Roger Friend is on percussion.
Yep.
Sakura Toyama is on grand piano, and Josh Weinstein is on Hammond organ. Wow, great job. Ariel, you must be so proud.
Yeah.
I hope your next record comes out soon. When's it coming out?
Man, it was supposed to... I had plans to have something released this month, but you know how it goes. I still have so much work to do with this one, promoting it, doing some videos. I'm going to do a couple of singles this year, and I'm going to do a short acoustic EP, I think. But then the next full length I'll start working on early next year. All
right. Well, this is what's happening in San Diego. Ariel Levine here live at Thunderbird Analog Recording Studio. Thank you to Thomas Yearsley, my engineer. And thank you, Ariel, for sharing this magnificent music with San Diego and the world.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.